Hello, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I am doing something I have never done before, which is one of these 3D multi-layered sort of shadow box kind of designs, except this is a circle. And I just absolutely loved this bear and mountain scene. I thought it was so cool. So I got it from designbundles.net, and I will link it in the video description if you're interested in it. Now it does have 9 layers to it, which is quite a few. And I did change the color of every layer to get so I could line it up and see what it will look like. And I wanted it to look kind of like the Colorado state flag. So that's why my sky is red. But I did want to show you what it looks like when you first open it, because that's a little bit weird. So if you go over here to the left hand side to the SVG icon, obviously I am in Brother Canvas WorkSpace. Hopefully you figured that out already. So I'm going to go over to this SVG icon and just click on it. And it opens the navigation for your computer. I'm already in the file, so I'm just going to click on the scalable vector graphic and open it. And you'll see that it opens and it's just like a big black circle, and that seems really weird, right? Well, if you click on it and start pulling it apart, you start to see all the various layers that are included in this SVG. And the reason it looks like a big black circle is because they're all black and they're all layered right on top of each other. So, so obviously you're going to have to go through and change each layer to the color that you want. If it's important to you to be able to do like what I've got here, which is sort of visualize what it's going to look like. Like I tried to get the colors as close to the cardstock colors that I'm using as I could to make sure that it looked pretty good all together. So to change the colors and the size potentially, because it comes in at around 6 inches, a 6-inch circle, and I made mine 8 1/4 inch circle just to make it a little bigger. To change the dimensions and the fill color on any of these, you just go over here to the panel or the toolbar on the right and click on the layers panel, which is this icon that looks like a stack of papers. And you'll see the black shapes are all at the top that I just recently imported, and here's the one that I've selected. Now, if you want to change the shape or the size first, what you would do is go to the edit panel, which is this square right above the layers panel. And you'll see up here that this is the width and the height. So it's 6.81 right now. Now, because we want to keep it a circle, a perfect circle, you need to make sure that the maintain aspect ratio button is checked, which it is. And then you can go into either box and just type in the dimension you want. So I changed mine to 8.25. And the height automatically changes to that as well. So I would go through and do that for every layer, or you can do the fill color and then do that for every layer. but here's how you change the fill color now. If I go up to the properties little panel, which is kind of looks like a big paintbrush, you will see the color, the fill color, and it's black right now. So if you click on the black box, it brings up the color palette. You can put in a hexadecimal code if you are going for a very specific color, or you can just kind of pick whatever you think is closest to what you're going to be using. So you like pick it and then hit OK, and you'll see it change to that color. And so once you've finished resizing all of the layers and then changing the fill color of all the layers, what you do to get it like this is you would pull apart, like, because let's say they're all randomly around. You can click and drag to select all the ones you need. Then go back to the edit panel, which again is that square. And under align down here, you can align it center and horizontally. Or middle. So it'll bring it all together like that. And that also allows you to make sure that you have it all, everything's the right size. Okay, so we don't need any of these black examples, so I'm going to delete them because now you know how to change the size and change the colors. So I've deleted all those. And you might be wondering, all right, how are we gonna cut 9 layers of cardstock on this 12 by 24 mat? You can tell I've changed it to the 12 by 24. And that is actually over here on the artboard icon, right here on the right. You can pick between 12 by 24 and 12 by 12. So you can do it either way. Basically, we can cut two of these at a time because I've got them at 8 1/4 inches. So I'm going to line them up. I'm going to do the top 2 layers, and I'm trying to line them up as close as I can to this dotted red line that goes all the way around the mat. That is actually the cut line. You cannot go outside that. It won't, the machine won't cut outside that. So we've got, so 2 will fit. Back over here on the layers panel, you can see this eye. Now, right now you'll notice this one layer. That's kind of functioning as a frame. So that could be the very, very top layer. I'm actually not going to use that one at all. So I'm going to just turn that off. So I'm going to toggle the visibility. So this little eyeball here, just click it and it goes away. Now the rest of them are all visible, but in order to export it over to the machine and have it cut, it will only let you do that if you don't have anything off the mat. I hope that makes sense. So like we've got these layers over here are all not on the mat. These 2 are on the mat. If I tried to export it now, the software is going to yell at me because it's going to say like, we can't do this with items that are off the mat. So what we have to do is do the same thing I just did with that frame layer and hide them, toggle the visibility on all of the remaining layers. So I'm just going to go through and click the eyeballs off on all of them except for those top 2, because those are the only 2 we're going to cut right now. And then to export it, because we are basically ready to go now, because everything is set on cut also, as you can see from the knife blade over here on the layers panel. I go to File, Export Transfer FCM File. It's going to give me a warning that objects that have been hidden are not available to export, and that's exactly what we want, so that's good. Just hit OK. Gives me the option of how I want to export it. I'm going to export it via the internet because I do have my ScanNCut set up with a wireless connection. If it's directly connected to your computer via USB cable, you would pick this choice. If you want to use a thumb drive, like you're going to save this to the thumb drive and then take that out of your computer and plug it into the machine, you would use this top sort of folder looking choice. So I'm just going to click on the wireless one. Tells me the registered machine is ready to download the transferred file. So now let's head on over to the machine. Okay, I'm over here at my machine. And now the important thing I need to do is I have to do retrieve data, which is right down here. And then it's going to give me the choice of like, is it on the computer or is it on the machine? Is it on a USB drive? Is it connected via USB cable or is it wireless? It's wireless. Click that one. Alright, so hopefully you can see that the first layer with the bear is showing up on the top, and if I arrow down, the second layer is showing on the bottom. Now what you may have to do is, before you can go any further, is go into, like if the bottom part is say blacked out or grayed out, that means that your machine is set on a 12 by 12 mat. And I have changed this to 12 by 24. So how to do that is you hit the wrench, and where it says cut area, you want to hit the arrow, and it shows, okay, this is the 12 by 24 mat. You might be set on 12 by 12. That's not going to work, so you're going to have to hit 12 by 24. Or if you're using a 12 by 12 mat and just cutting 8 times, then you're good to go. All right, so just hit OK until you get back here and both patterns are visible, and you hit OK and then hit please select, and we're going to hit cut. Alright, so here's my 12 by 24 mat. You can't really see the whole thing, but you can see my 8 different colors of cardstock. I've laid them out so that I don't lose track. So I know that these 2 are the first 2 colors, so I'm going to put those off to the side. Hit start. beautifully. There's layer 1. And layer 2. Nice. Alright, let's head back over to the software and do the next layers. Okay, back over in the canvas, I am going to drag these two that we just cut off the mat. And over here in the layers panel, I'm going to hide those two. And then I'm going to turn on the visibility of the next two. And just to kind of vary up where the cuts are on my mat, I'm going to actually put these two to like the right hand side of the mat rather than the left, the way the other ones were. Okay, and I've got them just inside the cut border there. All right, and I will go back to File, Export Transfer File, get the warning again about hidden objects, that's fine. Transferred via the internet. Registered machine's ready, so let's head over to the machine again. All right, so I've got my next two colors on my mat on the right hand side this time. I did bump them in like about 1/16 of an inch from the edge just to give it a little bit of breathing space. And I'm going to load my mat. I've already retrieved the file and done everything that we already did the first time, and so I'm going to hit OK. Please select cut. So I'm going to just hit start. Okay, and now I'm going to head back on over to the software, do the exact same thing for the rest of the layers, and we'll come back when I've got everything cut and we're ready to put it together. Okay, so to assemble this, I am going to be using foam strips. These are really skinny strips from scrapbook.com, and they're pretty inexpensive, so that's why I think it's a good use of these guys. You can see all the layers laid out here. I'm going to start from the back and work my way forward. The back layers seem to be the ones that are going to be the easiest to place, so we'll see how this goes. So I'm just going to start layering with the foam tape and then just layering them together until it's done. Now we know that this layer lines up with the wing on the bird, so that's easy to place. Then the white layer is going to line up along the mountain edge. I got these 3 layers stuck together. They were pretty easy to put together. Okay, so then this next layer, the light blue layer, is the one that's kind of the trickiest to figure out where it goes. So what I did was I went on my phone and I pulled up the photo of the SVG, I guess it is. And so I'm trying to figure out how exactly to get this on here, and it looks like it is about like so. Okay, and then the next two line up, they fit right on the mountains on the side. They just line up right on top of each other, so that's pretty easy. And then the last two will line up with the bear on the front together. Alright, so let me get these two on and we'll go to the last two. Okay, got this all done except for the top layer. Putting this one on wasn't that hard because you just have to use common sense, like the bear needs to be straight, right? So a couple things I wanted to tell you as tips for putting the foam tape on the layers, because this is definitely what takes the longest. It's taken me a couple hours to put the foam tape on all the layers. Now I am going a little bit nuts on the foam tape, so maybe you could do a little less than I am. But a couple things I wanted to point out is that one thing I started doing was cutting my paper 3 strips at a time in about 1-inch increments. And that seems to be perfect for going around the outer edge. And so that saved a lot of time, I thought, just in terms of like being able to just peel those off 1 piece at a time, and then, you know, get it all down really pretty fast. Another thing I would mention is that for the last 2 layers that are mostly open space and kind of thin, the 1/8 inch strips work great. But I would say that for most of the other layers that have a lot of solid space, what would have been better would have been if I had had the 1/8 inch strips for all the way around the outside, and then along any like detailed edges, and then probably like 1/2 inch thick, you know, wide foam tape to fill in the bigger areas of the layers that are mostly solid. That would have saved a lot of time. So I think part of what took me so long was because I was using just the 1-inch strips to fill in like the whole thing. All right, so let me get this done really quick, and then I will put the last layer on and we will see the finished product. All right, here's nothing. Okay, this one's gonna probably be the trickiest because I have to line it up with 3 different things. Okay, there we go. Not bad. This is super sturdy. I can't decide what. I'm probably gonna just set it on my shelf over here. But there we go. Pretty cute. You're gonna notice in the photographs that I did add a gold border around the bear and the 2 trees in front because they weren't standing out enough from the blue background and the mountain behind them. And I like that it adds a little rustic accent. Did that with a gold Spectrum Noir marker, and all the supplies I used in this project are listed in the video description. If you got anything out of this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing to my channel. Here are a couple other videos you might be interested in. Thanks so much. Have a great day.